Hi everyone, today we will solve some interesting questions that have been asked in UPSC CSAT exam. So the first question is, a digit n greater than 3 is divisible by 3 but not divisible by 6. Which one of the following is divisible by 4? This question has been asked in CSAT 2020, right? If you look at the question carefully, a digit means single digit. A digit means single digit, and that digit n is greater than 3. So what can be the possible values of n? If you only read that a digit n greater than 3, so if you only this part, you will be able to think that the possible values of n are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. You can't count 10. Why? Because 10 has 2 digits, right? Now if you read the question further, it says that that digit is divisible by 3. What does it mean? If that digit is divisible by 3, means 4 is not divisible by 3, 5 is not divisible by 3, 7 is not divisible by 3, 8 is not divisible by 3. So basically 6 and n are those 2 digits, and these 2 digits 6 and 9 are obviously greater than 3. Is divisible by 3? Yes, 6 is divisible by 3 and 9 is divisible by 3. But if you read further, you will find that but not divisible by 6. But not divisible by 6. What does it mean? That single digit n is not divisible by 6. But this 6 is obviously divisible by 6. This 6 is obviously divisible by 6, right? So we will have to eliminate 6. So the only possible value is 9. So the only possible value is 9. So basically you can say that n equal to 9, right? N equal to what? N equal to 9. Okay, now the question says, which one of the following is divisible by 4? You have been given 4 values, 2n, 3n, 2n plus 4, 3n plus 1, and you have to answer which one of the following is divisible by 4. Do you know the value of n? Yes, you know the value of n, that is equal to 9. So let us put the value of n, that is equal to 9, in the given 4 options, right? So what does it mean? 2n, that is equal to 2 into 9, that is equal to 18. So tell me, is 18 divisible by 4? No, 18 is not divisible by 4. What does it mean? That option A is not the correct answer. Let us look at option B. Option B is 3n. We know that the value of n is 9. The value of n is 9. So 3 into 9, that is equal to 27. Is 27 divisible by 4? Why we are checking the divisibility of these numbers by 4? Because we have to find out which one of the following is divisible by 4. So basically 27 is not divisible by 4. It means that option B is not the correct answer. Now you will look at option C. Option C is 2n plus 4. So obviously 2 into 9 plus 4, that is equal to 18 plus 4, that is equal to 22. So tell me, is 22 divisible by 4? No, 22 is not divisible by 4. What does it mean? It means that option C is not the correct answer, right? So obviously, see, if you have eliminated options A, B and C, you can mark option D, right? But let us check about option D. Option D says that 3n plus 1. Okay, if 3n plus 1, it means that 3 into 9 plus 1. 3 into 9 is 27. So 27 plus 1 is 28. Yeah, 28 is divisible by 4. 28 is divisible by 4. It means that option D is the correct answer. So should you put this question in the difficult category? No. This question is, you can say that this question is of easy or moderate level, right? So obviously, what was the clue in the question? That a digit n greater than 3 means that value of n is greater than 3, means the possible values are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and that n is divisible by 3. So we eliminated 4, 5, 7, 8. We had only 6 and 9. But if we read further, we found that that digit is not divisible by 6. So obviously, if that digit is not divisible by 6, we will have to eliminate 6. Why? Because 6 is divisible by 6, but 9 is not divisible by 6. 9 is satisfying all of the given conditions, right? So the value of n is equal to 9. Then we put the value of n in all of those options, and we are able to find that which one of the following is divisible by 4. Option D is the correct answer. Let us solve another question. If you have solved the previous year questions of CSAT, or if you have appeared at CSAT in last few years, you will observe that they have asked so many questions on these things: P, Q, R, 1A plus 2B plus 3C, D. They have asked this question a number of times. So you should be good at this kind of questions if you really want to solve this question, right? So let us read the question. Question says, consider the following multiplication problem. Okay, PQ into 3 is equal to RQQ. Okay, it has been given that PQ into 3R is RQQ, where PQ and R are different digits and R is not equal to 0. The value of R is not equal to 0, means that the value of R is not equal to 0 and PQ and R are different digits. So think for few seconds that if there is PQ, what does it mean? It means that there are basically two digits. And if you multiply Q with 3, you get Q. If you multiply Q with 3, you get Q. What can be the possible values? What can be the possible values of Q? Let us check one by one. Okay, let us take that P1 into 3. We are assuming that the value of Q is 1. We are saying that the value of Q is 1. So it means that we will get 3. Now tell me, you have assumed that the value of Q is 1 and you are getting here 3, and the question says that if you multiply Q with 3, you should get Q. If you multiply 1 with 3, you are getting 3, you are not getting 1. What does it mean? It means that the value of Q can't be 1. The value of Q can't be 1. Now let us assume that, see, we are not thinking about other digits, right? Let us assume that the value of Q is 2. So if you multiply 2 with 3, obviously you will get 6, right? We are not thinking about other digits. So now again notice the value of Q is 2, and if you multiply Q by 3, you are getting 6. But question says that if you multiply Q by 3, you should get Q, right? What does it mean? It means that the value of Q is not 2, right? Now let us take another example that the value of Q is 3. We are assuming that the value of Q is 3. So basically you will get 9, right? So you are multiplying, you should multiply Q and 3 and you should get 9. But see, you are multiplying 3 with 3, but you are getting 9. But the question says that Q into 3 equal to Q. So the value of Q can't be 3, right? Let us check for another digit. Let us take P4 into 3. If you multiply 4 into 3, you will get 12 and you will write here 2. Now again notice that if this is the value of Q and if you are multiplying this value by 3, you are getting 2. But basically you have to multiply Q with 3 and you have to get Q. Means this value is also not acceptable. Means the value of Q can't be 4. Let us check for when Q is 5. Okay, when Q is 5, 5 into 3 is 15. So obviously you will write 5. You will write 5. What does it mean? See, if the value of Q is 5 and if you multiply Q by 3, you are getting Q at unit place. What does it mean? That the value of Q can be 5. Okay, we will also check about Q equal to 6, Q equal to 7, Q equal to 8, Q equal to 9. But Now we have observed one thing, that the value of q can be 5. But if you check, let us check for when q is 6. If you multiply 6 with 3, obviously you will get 18, but you will write 8 at unit place. Now notice, if the value of q is 6 and if you multiply that number with 3, you are getting 8. But the question says that if you multiply q with 3, you should get q. Means the value of q can't be 6. See, till now we have only found that the value of q can be 5. Let us check it for 7. If you assume that the value of q is 7, right? So if you multiply 7 with 3, you will get 21, but you will write 1 at unit place. So now look at the question. If you multiply q with 3, you should get you should get q. If you multiply 7 with 3, you should get 7. Are you getting 7? No, you are not getting 7. What does it mean? That the value of q can't be 7. Now let us take another example, that if the value of q is 8, let us multiply with 3. So 8 into 3 is 24. 8 into 3 is 24. So obviously you will write 4 at unit place. So now again you should notice that if you are multiplying q with 3, you are not getting q. You should get 8 here. What does it mean? It means that the value of q can't be 8. Let us check for when the value of q is 9. Okay, let us check for when the value of q is 9. So if you multiply 9 with 3, you will get 27 and you will write 7. So now you can notice, if you are multiplying q with 3, you are not getting q. What does it mean? That the value of q can't be 9. We have checked, right, for all of these digits, and we have found that the value of q can only be 5. The value of q can only be 5. Okay, once we have found the value of q, that is 5, we can check for other digits. Now notice that we are erasing other things. Now look at the question. Question says, if you multiply PQ with 3, you should get RQQ. So basically, if you multiply PQ with 3, you should get 5, 5, right? 5 and 5. Why we are writing 5 and 5? See, the value of Q is 5. So basically, there are two digits. See, at unit place Q is there, at tens place Q is there. So basically, this is 5 and 5. Now, we will have to check the possible values of P. The possible values of P. You can't think that P is 0. Why? Because it has been given that R is not equal to 0. R is not equal to 0. So let us check for one by one. Okay, if you think that the value of P can be 1, so let us write 15 into 3, that is 45. Are you getting 5 and 5? No, you are not getting 5 and 5. What does it teach us? It says us that the value of P can't be 1. Let us think that when the value of P is 2, if you assume that the value of P is 2, you will get 7, 5. So are you getting 5 and 5 at unit and tens place? No, you are not getting. What does it mean? It means that the value of P can't be 2. Let us take the value of P as 3. So 3, 5 into 3. So 105. So are you getting 5 and 5 at unit and tens place? No, you are not getting. What does it mean? It means that the value of P can't be 3. Let us take another example. 45 into 3, that is equal to 135. So basically 5 into 3 is 15. 4 into 3, 12 plus 1 is 13. So what does it mean? It means that 5 into 3 is 15, 4 into 3 is 12 plus 1, that is equal to 13. So now we can say that the value of unit place and tens place is not equal to 5. What does it mean? It means that P can't be 4. Let us take another example when the value of P is 5. So 55 into 3 is 165. Right? You can again notice that you are not getting 5 and 5 at units and tens place. So the value of P can't be 5. Let us take when the value of P is 6. you are getting 195. So you will have to eliminate the options. You will have to eliminate that the P can be sits. P can't be sits. If P sits, you are getting 195, but you should get 5 and 5 at units place. So you will have to eliminate that thing. Now if you write the value of P as 7, so obviously you will get 225. You should again notice that you are not getting 5 and 5 at unit place, right? What does it means? That the value of P can't be 7. The value of P can't be 7. Now we will check for the value of P as 8. If you write the value of P as 8, you will get 255. You will get 255. Now you can notice that we are getting 5 at units place and tens place. That means the value of P can be 8. But let us check for the value of P being 9. So let us take another example. 95 into 3. If you multiply these numbers, you will get 285. So you are not getting 5 at units and tens place, right? What does it mean? It means that P can't be 9. P can't be 9. So now we have found that P can be only 8, right? P can be only 8. And earlier we have found that the value of Q can be 5. The value of Q can be only 5, right? Now if you look at this multiplication, you will find the value of P, Q and R. What is the value of P? We have found that the value of P is 8. The value of P is 8. What is the value of Q? We have found that the value of Q is 5. The value of Q is 5. What is the value of R? See, R, Q, Q. So the value of Q is 5, 5. So obviously the value of R is 2. Now read the question. Question says, what is the value of P plus R divided by Q? Right? So P plus R divided by Q. So obviously 8 plus 2 by 5. That is equal to 10 by 5. That is equal to 2. So 2 is the correct answer that is present in option B. So how can we be good at solving this kind of questions? You will have to assume the different possible values for the given digits. Then you will check for different values. Then you will be able to eliminate most of the possibilities. Then only you can solve. If I am again explaining the process, it was given in the question that PQ into 3 equal to RQQ. So we thought that what can be the possible value of Q? So we put the different values for Q. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? And we found that the only possible value of Q can be 5. When we multiply 5 with 3, we get 5. We get 5. So the possible value of Q is 5. So once we get the possible value of Q is 5, we were able to say that at units place and tens place, 5 and 5 is present. See, R, Q, Q. We have found the value of Q. Then we started to check the different possible values for P, and we put the different values of P, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and we found that only P equal to 8 satisfies the given condition. What was the given condition? The given condition was that if you put some values for P, you should get at units place and tens place 5 and 5. Why 5 and 5? Because earlier we have fixed the value of Q as 5. So once we found the value of P, we were able to find the value of R. And in question we have to answer what is the value of P plus R divided by Q. So once you find the values of P, Q and R, it will be cakewalk for you to answer the question correctly and quickly, right? So the correct answer is option B. Now let us solve another question. In an objective type of 90 questions, 5 marks are allotted for every correct answer and 2 marks are deducted for every wrong answer. After attempting all the 90 questions, a student got a total of 387 marks. you have to answer what is the number of incorrect responses. This question has been asked in CSAT 2021. If you read the question carefully, you find that there are 90 questions, right? If you mark the answer correctly, you will get 5 marks for one correct answer. And if you mark incorrect option, 2 marks will be deducted. If you attempt all the 90 questions, you will get 387 marks, right? If you attempt all the questions, you will get 387 marks. So we are assuming, see, you have to answer, sorry, what is the number of incorrect response. So we are assuming that the number of correct responses is equal to x. We have assumed that the number of correct responses as x, and we can assume number of incorrect responses is equal to y. We have assumed that this student has answered x questions correctly, and this student has answered y questions correctly, and we know that the student has attempted all the 90 questions. What does it say? It says us that x plus y equal to 90y, because he has attempted all the questions. If he has attempted all the questions, and if he has answered x number of questions correctly and y number of questions incorrectly, so basically, suppose if I say that you have answered 60 questions correctly and 30 questions incorrectly, and you have attempted all the questions, so 60 plus 30 equal to 90 questions were there, right? So we can write x plus y equal to 90. So we have an equation in x and y, right? If you read the question further, it has been given that 5 marks are allotted for every correct answer and 2 marks are deducted for every wrong answer. So if you answer one question correctly, you get 5 marks. So if you answer x number of questions correctly, if you give x number of correct responses, what you will get? You will get 5 into x, so 5x. And if you have given y number of incorrect responses, and you will 2 marks are deducted for every round answer, so basically 5x minus 2y, that is equal to what? That is equal to 387 marks. That is equal to 387 marks. Now we have two equations in x and y. So will we be able to solve these equations in x and y? Yes, we will be able, right? And we have to answer what is the number of incorrect responses. So basically they are asking that what is the value of y, right? Now the question is, what is the value of y? So let us solve these equations. See, if you multiply this equation with 2, if you multiply this equation with 2, you will get 2x plus 2y, that is equal to 180. Then 5x minus 2y is equal to 387. If you add both equations, these values will cancel each other. So 2x plus 5x is equal to 7x. 0 and 7 will be 7. 8 and 8 will be 16. 1, 3, 4 plus 1 is 5. So 7x plus 5, 6, 1. If you solve it further, you will have to write x equal to 5, 6, 7 by 7. So x equal to 81. The value of x is equal to 81. If the value of x equal to 81, what does it mean? It means that if you solve this question, x plus y equal to 90. If x plus y equal to 90, and we know that the value of x is 81, so 81 plus y equal to 90. So y equal to 90 minus 81, that is y equal to 9. So y equal to 9. Now read the question again. The question asks, what is the number of incorrect responses? The number of incorrect responses is 9. The number of incorrect responses is 9. Why? Y is the number of incorrect responses. So option A is the correct answer. Now let us solve another question. Now the question is 3p plus 4p plus PP, that is equal to RQ2. So basically 3P, 4P, PP and P, that is equal to RQ2, where PQ and R are different digits. What is the arithmetic mean of all such possible sums? I have told you earlier that CSAT does ask this kind of questions, and once you solve few questions related to this kind of, you will be able to solve these questions directly. Now, if you observe this thing, we are adding all the numbers and we are getting RQ. Now, at unit place 2 is present. At unit place 2 is present. So basically, you are adding P plus P plus P plus P and you are getting 2. You are getting 2. Now think for some time that what can be the possible values of P? See, P is a single digit. P is a single digit. So the possible values of P are obviously 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Okay. If you take the value of P as 0, 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 will be 0. If you assume that the value of P is 0, at unit place 0 should be there. But in this question, at unit place 2 is there. So obviously you will have to eliminate the possibilities of P being 0. Why? Because you are not getting 2 at unit place. If you assume that the value of P is 1, so if you add all the 1, you will get 4. But you are getting 2. So you will have to eliminate the chances of P being 1. So can P be 2? Okay, if P is 2, at unit place we should get 8. But we are not getting 8. Means P can't be 2. Right? Now if you add all 3 at unit place, you will get 2. See, at unit place you will see if P is 3, 3 plus 3 is 6 plus 3 9 plus 3 12. So obviously we will write 2 there, right? What does it mean? That P can be 3. Okay, we have found one value that P can be 3. Okay, we have found one values that P can be 3. Let us think for 4. If you put the value of P as 4 at unit place, you will get 6. You will not get 2. So P can't be 4. If you put P as 5 at unit place, you will get 0. 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 20. So at unit place, you will get 0. So P can't be 5. If you put P as 6, so at unit place, you will get 4. Why? Because 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 24. So at unit place, you will get 4. But we have to get 2. We have only found that P can be 3. But we haven't checked for 7, 8 and 9 yet. So let us check for 7. To put P as 7 at unit place, 8 will be there. So P can't be 7. So P can't be 7. If you put 8 as unit place, if you put the value of P as 8, so at unit place, 2 will be there. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 32. So at unit place, P will be 8. At unit place, P will be 8. Yeah. Now think P also can be 8. P can be 8. Now think for P being 9. Okay. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. That will give us 36. See, at unit place 6 is present, but at unit place we have to get 2. So P can't be 9. So we have found that P can be 3 and P can be 8. So there are two possible values of P, that is 3 and 8. So we have found that there is two possible values of P, that P can be 3 and P can be 8. Now let us put the value of P as 3 and P as 8. So 33, 43, 33 and 33. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 12. So obviously 2. 1, 3, 4, 4, 4, 8, 8, 3, 11, 11, 3, 14. There is one value, 3, 4, 7, 3, 10, 3, 13, and obviously that one, so 142. So notice this thing here, P equal to 3, P equal to 3, right? Now notice the value of R is 1, the value of R is 1, the value of Q is 4. So obviously P, Q and R are different digits, right? P, Q and R are different digits. Now we will check about P being 8, right? See, we have observed that P can be 8. So let us put the value of P as 8. So 38, 48, then 88. We are putting the value of P as 8 because P also can be 8. So 88, then 88. Obviously, if you add 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, you will get 32. So you will write it here as 2, and obviously you have 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 6 plus 4 is 10, 10 plus 8 is 18, 18 plus 8 is 20. Right? Now notice, we have been given that P, Q and R should be different digits. So what is P here? P is 8. We have put the value of P as 8. What is R? R is 2. What is Q? Q is 6. So yeah, we have different values for P, Q and R, and we have got two possible sums. What are those two possible sums? See, one possible sum is 142, another possible is 262. Right? Now read the question again. What is the arithmetic mean of all such possible sums? You have two possible sums, 142 and 262. So what is going to be the arithmetic mean? Arithmetic mean is 142 plus 162, and that is obviously equal to, that is, sorry, 262, right? 262. 142 plus 262 divided by 2. So obviously this is equal to 404 divided by 2, that is equal to 202. So 202 is the correct answer. Now you should again learn one thing, that how do we solve this kind of questions. She said does ask this kind of questions every year, right? So how do we solve? We take different possible values for given digits. Then if you check for every possible digit, every possible value, you will be able to eliminate most of the possibilities. Then you will be able to solve. So how did we solve this question? It was given that 3p plus 4p plus pp plus pp is rq2. So basically if you add p and p and p and p 4 times, you should get 2 at unit place. Sorry. So we thought that p can be from 0 to 9. Then we started to put the value of p as 0, as 1, as 2, as 3, as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we found that only p as 3 and p as 8 satisfies this condition, that if you add these digits, you get 2 at unit place. You add these digits, you get 2 at unit place. So the possible value was, the possible values for p was 3 and 8. We found that p can't be 0. Why? Because if you put the value of p as 0, you will get 0 at unit place. Similarly for 1, similarly for 2, if you put 1, you will get 4 at unit place. So we were able to eliminate all other possible values. Once we found that p can be 3 and p can be 8, we put the value of p as 3 and we put the value of p as 8. So we found two possible sums. And the question was, what is the arithmetic mean of all such possible sums? So we just added these two possible sums. And to find the arithmetic mean, we had to add these numbers and divide by 2. 142 plus 262 divided by 2. Why we divided by 2? The reason was simple, because there are two numbers, right? So the correct answer for this question is 202. Now let us solve this question. If you get this kind of questions in CSAT, you should be extremely happy. You shouldn't do any kind of mistakes in this kind of question, right? So what is the question? Question is, P scored 40 marks more than Q in the examination. If Q scores 10% less marks than P, then how much did Q score? Okay, P scored 40 marks more than Q. So there is P and there is. So if I say that Q has scored X marks, so I can say that P has scored X plus 40 marks. It has been given in the question that P scored 40 marks more than Q in the examination, right? Okay, if you read the question further, it says that Q scores 10 marks more than P. Q scores 10% less marks than P. See, everyone has different ways to deal with percentage. When it comes to percentage more, when it comes to percentage less, right? Everyone follows some different kind of calculation approaches to simplify those things, right? Now we know that Q scores 10% less marks than P, right? So if Q scores, see, this is X plus 40, right? And this is obviously X, and we know that this value X is 10% less than. So if this is 10% less than, what does it mean? See, if you have learned about the concept of multiplying factor, so this is 10% less. See, X is 10% less than X plus 40. Read this part. Q scores 10% less marks than P. So obviously this is 1 by 10 less than. So you can simply write, see, if you are able to think in this way, that X plus 40 into 0.9 equal to X, super. If you are able to think in this way, right? But if you are not able to think in this way, you can also think, okay, X plus 40 into 1 minus multiplying factor, so 1 minus 1 by 10, that is equal to X. So you will get the same answer, right? So obviously if you solve it further, you will write 0.9x plus 36, right? 40 into 9 is 36, but there is one decimal, so X, if you solve it further, you will get X minus 0.9x, that is equal to 36. So 36 equal to 0.1x. So obviously X equal to 36 by 0.1. So this is equal to 36, right? Now read the question. And how much did Q score, right? Then how much did Q score? Q scored 360. If Q scores 10% less marks than P, what does it mean? It means that X is 90% of X plus 40. You can also think in that way, right? Or even if you solve this equation, you will get the same answer. Okay, hopefully all of you learned something new in today's lecture. See you in next lecture. I will suggest you that you should solve all the questions of CSAT previous year questions paper, right? So, but I will suggest you one thing. See, everyone solves previous year questions, but everyone does not try to understand the approaches, does not try to understand that, okay, this is the kind of questions that they are asking. How should be our approach to solve these questions? So your goal should be to learn the approaches while solving those questions, and you should be able to find some pattern that, okay, CSAT asks this kind of questions, right? Then you will be able to develop your framework that how can I solve this kind of questions. Like I have told you earlier that if you get questions like this, P, Q and R, right? And you can see P, Q and R. So you will have to put the different possible values for the given digits. Then you will be able to eliminate most of the possible values. Then you will be able to solve. So good luck to your preparation. See you in next lecture.